Hi there, and welcome to the Beach House Garden Diaries. Cold and dark days are now here, and by now there is only a couple of hours of sunlight in a day. So the trips to the beach only serve the walking purpose. And here today I'm showing you some far end corners of my beach, where we have a tiny river flowing to the bay and the beautiful hanging bridge crossing that. And despite the fact that the volleyball net is still up, nobody is playing that anymore, as it's too cold and it gets dark too fast. But to brighten that one up, we have had so many northern lights this year. And anytime it's not dark outside, raining outside, or snowing outside, I'm trying to do something reasonable, like collecting the last pieces of wood from my fence building project, for example, or taking my lawnmower tractor to the shelter.
And it's also time to prepare the tractor to be taken inside to the shelter, and this thing to be emptied and left here. That's the amount of water from a couple of weeks.
I'm also trying to clean everything so that when stored, they would look as clean as possible.
Plants are growing here.
Over the past weeks, I really feel it has been a race against the time to get everything ready by the winter. And here I am taking you along to ride the tractor. This is how it feels every day, until you see that you actually cannot park the tractor because the shelter is still full of all the tools that I've used over the summer, including some of the painting tools and as well a lot of cardboard that needs to be stored upwards, as I still want to use it under the mulch next year, and I do need to store the lawnmower in this shelter.
So the next thing we need to make sure is that everything that we need for the winter, like these plant covering things, would be here at hand once we need them. So let's try to rearrange the things in here.
So at this point, it seemed to me that I'm actually just moving things around, but maybe that was exactly what was required, as I discovered my nettle fertilizer.
My self-made fertilizer. I have to take this one in, otherwise it's gonna freeze and break.
Then I did just a couple of more arrangements and putting all the tools and things into their correct boxes, and I was ready to get the tractor in. However, I also discovered that one of the wheels did not look very good anymore, as the tires seemed to be empty. Luckily, my brother came to help me with his super tools again and pumped them all full for the storage.
Now the shape of the tire is changing. That's good.
Even the tiny spare tires that I keep just in case one of my garden cart tires should break. Please don't judge me for being the hoarder here. So here we go, officially closing the mowing season, as the last mower is stored for the winter.
Yoo-hoo! And this is how the shelter looks now. Absolutely ready to face the winter.
And here I have taken myself out on a day that is cloudy and gloomy and absolutely blue. Luckily, the garden beds still look good and bright up even such sad looking days. I am in love with this lime grass bed. The color of these plants is just gorgeous. But also other plants are looking just lovely in these late autumn conditions. Look at this Perovska, or this tiny sand salix bush, or the very young hydrangeas. Even these blue chip junipers are looking so bright. Or this type, which is called Wiltoni. And also, my flower grass hasn't given up. On such days, my cat does not enjoy being outside and tries to convince me to go inside every single time. So here she is, showing the direction where we should go. We are almost finished with our tiny tour in the garden, which happens even in the gloomy days. Here are the last hydrangeas that are still trying to bloom. And here is another corner with beautiful blue junipers and the mulch that we sprayed around this tiny pine tree with my mom in this summer. And here we still have some half-tired sedums, which are still bringing some colors to the garden. We are soon facing very heavy frosts, so I'm now cleaning up all the water pots and removing the summer flowers from the pots. If I learned something within this summer, I understood that this black pot was a little bit too tiny to host any flowers, and with some other summer flowers.
I didn't even ever plant it.
And here I'm removing one more Gaura plant for the winter storage.
Alright, so these are my huge terrace boxes, which actually work the best for the summer flowers. And I think the reason for this was that they had enough water in this huge terrace box. But regardless of that, none of these plants would live over winter. So I'm just going to trim them and then I'll see. Back with some bigger pots for the bigger plants.
Some last peony leaves to be removed.
And here's the last flowering geranium, which was completely shaded with white and purple petunias. And this plant never got the chance to shine, so maybe next year it's gonna get its own pot.
And these are our frosty but colorful mornings. You can see how long are the shadows from the buildings now, almost reaching to the back end of the property, as the morning sun barely peeks over the trees. And as everything is getting more and more winter-like, and with every passing day, there is even less light outside, I decided to cheer everything up with some beautiful outdoor lights. Yoo-hoo! And it's so much better to install them with -2 degrees Celsius than -20 degrees Celsius. So to prepare everything for a cozy Hygge season, I'm installing 3 different LED light chains. The newest one that I'm installing here on this video clip was so messy. So it really took quite a bit of time to stretch it out and install it on the fence. But I think it looked cute in the end. For the second one, I first had to install some hooks. And then I was able to secure the chain to the south-facing windows of my house. And the last one, I wanted to secure just above the main entrance of the house. So I also secured some hooks there and randomly distributed the whole chain. I'm so happy how it turned out. And finally, there were some solar power chains that I wanted to install to the smaller bushes and trees. I'm always having some trouble in sorting out how should they be installed, as all of these strings are so tiny and they really get messed up with each other. But after a little bit of exercise, I think I managed.
The most problematic part here was this bush, which is full of thorns. Let's see.
And just as I finished, we had a tiny snowfall, so when it turned completely dark and I opened the door, I had this winter wonderland in my garden. There are still a couple of things that I need to fix in the garden. For example, protect my apple trees from all kinds of deers and other animals roaming around. But all in all, I think I'm ready to face the winter. Thank you so much for watching this video until the end, and I hope to see you back in here for the next gardening adventures. So far, I wish you all the best and take care.